The city park was alive with laughter that Sunday afternoon, children chasing bubbles, couples strolling hand in hand, and families picnicking on checkered blankets. But on a far bench, apart from the noise and joy, sat a man in an impeccably tailored suit. His face, however, told another story, one of emptiness. This was Daniel Cross, the youngest CEO in the city, a man newspapers called up a visionary, whose name was synonymous with success. He had wealth, prestige, and a corner office in a glass tower. But none of it filled the silence he carried home each night. His parents were gone, his marriage had crumbled under the weight of his ambition, and friendships had thinned until all that remained were business associates and polite nods in boardrooms. Daniel had come to the park that day not for fresh air, but because he couldn't stand the echo of his penthouse anymore. He sat staring at the ground, watching ants carry crumbs, wondering if this, loneliness in the middle of abundance, was what his life had boiled down to. Just then, a little girl no older than 6 stopped in front of him. She had curly hair tied with pink ribbons and eyes too bright to belong to this gray world. She studied him curiously before asking, "Why do you look so sad, mister?" The question startled him. Adults avoided honesty. They looked away, kept their distance. But this child had cut straight through his silence. He forced a small smile. "I'm not sad. Just tired." She tilted her head, unconvinced. "My mommy says when people sit alone like that, they're not just tired. They're lonely." Her words pierced deeper than he expected. He opened his mouth to respond, but before he could, the girl's mother hurried over. "Lila, don't bother the gentleman," she said, embarrassed. But Daniel shook his head. "She's not bothering me. Not at all." His voice carried a sincerity that surprised even him. Lila beamed, then said the words that would change his life. "You can be in our family if you want." The simplicity of her offer hit him harder than any business deal or award ever had. A child, without knowing who he was or what he owned, had offered him something priceless, belonging. For a moment, Daniel couldn't speak. The mother, sensing his struggle, gave a polite smile. "I'm sorry. Kids say the wildest things." But Daniel shook his head again. "No. She said the truest thing I've heard in years." Silence fell, broken only by the rustle of leaves overhead. Something inside him cracked open, a realization that he had spent his whole life building walls of glass and steel, but had forgotten how to build bridges to people. The mother softened, introducing herself as Emily. She and Lila were at the park most Sundays. Daniel found himself asking if he might join them sometime. Emily hesitated, wary at first. He was, after all, a stranger. But something in his weary eyes convinced her. She agreed. One Sunday became 2. 2 became every week. Daniel would bring a picnic basket, awkward at first, but soon he was laughing along with Lila's endless stories about school and fairy tales. Emily watched the change in him quietly. The sharp edges of the CEO softened into something human again. Then came the turning point. One afternoon, as they packed up, Lila slipped her small hand into Daniel's and whispered, "You don't look lonely anymore." His throat tightened. He realized she was right. These simple afternoons had become the most important meetings on his calendar. He no longer rushed back to the penthouse, he lingered in the park, soaking in warmth money could never buy. Months later, at Lila's school play, Daniel sat in the front row, cheering louder than anyone. When Lila spotted him in the crowd, her smile stretched wider than the stage. Afterward, she ran into his arms and said, "See? I told you. You're in our family now." Daniel didn't correct her. He didn't have to. In his heart, he knew she had given him something beyond success, beyond riches. She had given him a place to belong. Sometimes, the greatest riches in life are not found in bank accounts or boardrooms, but in the kindness of strangers, the innocence of a child, and the courage to accept love when it's offered. Because family is not always the one we're born into, it's the one that opens its arms and says, "You can be with us if you want."